Today on Sugar Spun Run, we'll be making my favorite yellow cake. Hey Sugar Spun Bakers, Sam here, and today I am so excited to be sharing another carefully tested, well-researched, and perfected recipe. Today we're going to be making a yellow cake. Now, yellow cake is very similar to vanilla cake, but it typically has a richer, more yellow color. This is usually the result of additional egg yolks and using more butter. I'm so excited to get started on this one. So let's go ahead and get our ovens preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now today's recipe can be made in one bowl, which is great because I love saving dishes where possible. We are going to be starting with a large mixing bowl and we're going to add 3 cups of cake flour. I will include instructions if you need to substitute all-purpose flour, but I really like using cake flour because it gives the cake a nicer, finer, just softer crumb. Next, we'll add 2 1/4 cups of granulated sugar, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 3/4 teaspoon of table salt. Now we're going to whisk everything together until these ingredients are nicely combined. And next we are going to add our butter. So for today's recipe, we're going to be using 12 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. This butter is not super warm, it's had some time to cool, so if you touch it, it should not feel warm to the touch. Now, if you can get your hands on it, I really love to use European style butter. It just has a richer yellow color and it will give the cake more flavor and make it a little bit more moist. But if you can only find regular unsalted butter, that will be fine as well. We're also going to be adding a 1/2 cup of cooking oil. I'm using, I think this is vegetable oil today, but canola oil would work just as well. You guys know I like to use a blend of oil and butter in my cakes because the butter gives a great flavor, but you really can't beat the moisture that you get from using a cooking oil. All right, now we're going to stir the melted butter and oil into the batter, and we want to get everything completely combined. You could certainly do this by hand rather than by using a mixer. It just takes a little bit more of an arm workout. It's not a big deal though. All right, so once we have everything combined, I'm going to go ahead and scrape the sides and bottom of the bowl. I want to make sure I don't have any dry pockets of flour remaining. All right, and now we are going to add our eggs and egg yolks. So for today's recipe, we are going to be using 2 large eggs as well as 2 large egg yolks. Now I'll be frosting this cake with a chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream, and that buttercream is made using egg whites. So if you're going to be using the same frosting, hang on to those egg whites because you can use them there. To get those yolks out, we're just gonna pass the egg white back and forth in the broken shell. Drop that egg yolk right in there. And these extra egg yolks are really going to help enrich the cake, give it a really nice texture, give it a nice golden color as well. All right. I'm going to hang on to these egg whites because I'm going to use them for my frosting. All right, we're going to mix these in just a second, but first I'm also going to add my vanilla extract. We're going to be using 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and now we will stir everything together until the vanilla and the eggs are well incorporated into the batter. All right, this is looking pretty good. So next we're going to add 1 cup of sour cream. You want to use a full fat sour cream. I don't like to throw everything in at once, like the eggs and sour cream and the milk that we'll be adding in a second, because I feel like it makes it more difficult to get a nice uniform batter. I really feel like adding the ingredients in segments like this helps the batter be more nicely combined and gives you a better texture in the end. So we're gonna stir this in. And finally, we are going to be adding 1/2 cup of whole milk. I'm just gonna drizzle this in while I mix on low speed. One of the really nice things about the technique, the method that I'm using to make this cake is that we are doing the reverse creaming method, kind of. It's not exactly the reverse creaming method, but it's more similar to that than the traditional creaming method. And this makes it very, very difficult to accidentally overmix the cake. I think you guys have heard me say many times that accidentally overmixing a cake is one of the most surefire ways to end up with a dense, dry cake. It's not impossible to do this way, but it's a lot harder. All right, I can tell just by looking at this, everything is not yet uniformly combined, but I wanna help my mixer out and scrape the sides and bottom of the bowl real quickly. And then we'll mix everything again so that it does become nice and smooth and uniform. All right, this is looking pretty good. So now we'll divide it into our cake pans. I'm just going to lightly spray the sides and bottom of these with baking spray, which is the spray that's made with flour. It needs to say it has flour in it. Regular cooking spray won't work as well. If you don't have baking spray, just lightly grease and flour the pans instead. Smooth that in there. I don't ever want to taste the baking spray, so I like to make sure it's really a nice light coating. And then for the bottoms of the pans, one of my worst fears is a cake sticking to the pan and not coming out. I've had that happen way too many times in my life, so I always cut out rounds of parchment paper and I just drop these on the bottom of the pans. It's just extra security. It's going to keep your cake from sticking. And we'll just evenly divide the batter into these pans. I'm really bad at eyeballing this, so we'll see how it goes. All right, well, hopefully I divided these evenly. I guess we'll see. We're gonna take these over to our 350-degree Fahrenheit preheated oven, where they're going to bake in the center rack for about 32 to 35 minutes. The best way to tell that they're done is you're going to want to lightly touch the tops. It should gently spring back to the touch, and a toothpick inserted in the center should come out clean, or preferably with a few moist crumbs. So after the cakes have had about 10 to 15 minutes to cool in their pan, I like to run a knife around the edge of the cake just to loosen it, just in case there was any sticking. And then we'll carefully invert this onto a cooling rack to cool completely before we ice the cakes. Still a little bit warm, be careful. Look at that, they come out so easily thanks to these parchment liners. So once these have cooled completely, we are going to level them and frost them. Now, these cakes tend to bake with a bit of a dome, so I really do recommend that you level them before you go any further. Now you can use just a sharp serrated knife if you want, but I do like to use my cake leveler. I'll make sure to link to this. It's pretty inexpensive. You can get it on Amazon, and I use mine all the time. You can see I flip the cake so the dome side is up. Then we'll go ahead and level it. Just kind of saw through it. We'll remove the tops. Top part is great for snacking, by the way. It's like the best part of the cake. All right, now let's go ahead and decorate our cakes. I'm just gonna put the first one on the cake platter. And today I'm going to be icing the cake with this chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream that I just shared a video for earlier this week. This cake and frosting combo is like the classic best combination. Also love using my fudge frosting with this cake. Let's add some sprinkles on top for a nice finishing touch. I'm just gonna go around the outside and just do it like this. All right, let's go ahead and dig into this cake. I'm so excited for you to see it. Love it, super soft crumb, nice rich flavor. And take a look at that. I really hope you guys enjoy this yellow cake. If you try it out, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. I would love to know if you like this one or my vanilla cake better. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is a great cake.